Congresswoman Barbara Lee, the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, an unyielding advocate for social justice. I don't know if Maxine is here, but as you know, she is also a fighter for economic justice. And together, and other members as well on the CBC, working together with our Democratic whip, Mr. Clyburn, Congresswoman Lee and Waters are leaders in the U.S. response to the earthquake in Haiti. Our president said it best. Our president said it best to the people of Haiti. You will not be forgotten. You will not be forsaken. Barbara Lee is making sure that that is the truth. Thank you, Barbara. And so it's wonderful to be here. I feel like it's almost as if I'm coming home. Many of us have been friends for decades, some for days, all of us concerned about a better future for the American people. And so I'm very honored to have spent 20 years on the Democratic National Committee. Christine is now on there. My father was on. We're 3 generations of DNC, so I know full well the important work that the members of the Democratic National Committee, our state chairs and vice chairs and others, I know how important you are to our electoral success and for advancing causes to improve the lot of America's working families. And so I'm very honored to come to you today as Speaker of the House and on behalf of our great majorities in the Congress, including our Majority Leader, Steny Hoyer. Any Marylanders here? I thought so. Well, I'm here to say thank you. Thank you for helping to elect strong Democratic majorities to the Congress that enabled us to make a difference in the lives of the American people. I know that Senator Reid's travel, the snow, the this, the that, prevented him from being here this morning, but may I say what an honor it is to work with him on behalf of a better future. He is a great leader in the United States Senate, Senator Harry Reid. And as I proceed, I want to point out one area of special pride that is in the 3 years since Democrats have won the majority in Congress. We are very proud that we have provided greater support for our veterans than in any time in American history. As they say in the military, on the battlefield, we will leave no soldier behind. So too we say, and when they come home, we will leave no veteran behind. Let us recognize their service and the service and sacrifice of our courageous men and women in uniform and their families and their patriotism to our country. Thank you to our men and women in uniform. With your help to end discrimination, we passed the Lilly Ledbetter equal pay legislation, the federal hate crimes law, and last week happily received the news that President Obama will repeal Don't Ask, Don't Tell. I know when you're out there, you get a question that I get frequently and have been getting for decades. What is the difference between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party? During his acceptance speech to the Democratic National Convention in 1948, President Truman, a man of very succinct words, he said this: the Democratic Party is the people's party, and the Republican Party is the party of special interest. It has always been and always will. That's what he said. It was true then, and it is true today. Democrats are the party of the people. And keeping in mind what President Truman said about the Republicans being the party of special interest, doesn't that, combined with this latest Supreme Court decision, insist that we pass public financing of campaigns? Isn't that long overdue? Democrats are the defenders of the middle class and all who aspire to it. Democrats are fighting for fairness and justice. Democrats are leading the fight for Main Street. Never again will Wall Street's recklessness undermine Main Street's progress. Never again will Wall Street be allowed to jeopardize the jobs, the pensions, the homes, and the life savings of the American people. And Democrats are for health care for all Americans as a right, not a privilege. Fairness and opportunity. That is the fire that burns within us. Thank you for helping to elect a great President of the United States, President Barack Obama. In his inspirational inaugural address, President Obama called for action bold and swift, not only to create new jobs, but to lay a new foundation for growth. With your help, it's all about you. With your help, 1 week and 1 day later, the House passed the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. The Recovery Act will mark its one-year anniversary on February 17th, and it has helped advance the education of our children by hiring more teachers and keeping teachers in our classrooms. The Recovery Act provided for the safety of our neighborhoods by putting more police and firefighters in our communities. The transformation of our economy through middle-class tax cuts is an important principle of that Recovery Act. We began our investments also to create clean energy jobs and will continue, as Mike Honda said, to build on the Waxman-Markey Clean Energy and Climate Change Bill to have new clean energy jobs for the future. It's not just about putting people back to work, it's about having more and better jobs for the American people. There are a few things I want you to remember to take home. According to major economic indicators, we have already seen signs of recovery that have sprung from this Recovery Act. Here's what I want you to remember. Number one, jobs. In January of last year, before we enacted the Recovery Act, Americans lost, in just the month of January, 741,000 jobs. 741,000 jobs in that month as we, at the end of the month, inaugurated our new president. 1 year later, Governor Kane mentioned to you that the job loss today, January 2010, is 22,000 jobs. 741,000, 22. 22,000 job loss is too much. We know we have to do better, but it's a big difference. It's 720,000 jobs fewer than January of last year. Number two, the gross domestic product. In December 2008, America's GDP decreased by 6.2%. Just 1 year later, December 2009, our GDP grew by 5.7%. A remarkable 12-point swing, and the fastest that our economy has grown in years. 12 points from December to December. Number three, the stock market. Although yesterday wasn't a great day, it still closed over 10,000. Just a year ago, around this time, the stock market closed at 7,000, an increase of 3,000 points in the stock market. And fourth, America's manufacturing base grew for the 6th straight month. Let me repeat that. America's manufacturing base grew for the 6th straight month. And now it is at its highest level in 5 years. Its highest level in 5 years. So we talk about jobs, GDP, stock market, and manufacturing base increase. The Recovery Act was an important part of making that change, and we must recognize that in all of our communities across the country. But the biggest indicator for us, and the President says it so well, the biggest indicator for us is the progress that is made by America's families. We know that far too many Americans are still looking for work. Democrats will continue to focus, again, not only on putting Americans back to work, but creating new, more, and better jobs for the 21st century. We will measure our success in the progress made by America's working families. Central to our fight to create jobs and strengthen our economy is our fight to reform health insurance for the American people. This is about the economic security of America's families. Let us recall the course that was set by the President and the Congress last January. With your help, as was mentioned earlier by Mike, with your help, one of the first bills we sent to the President provides health care for 11 million children in America. We're off to a good start. And the Recovery Act invested billions of dollars in health IT, health information technology, electronic medical records, and the rest, so that when we go down the path of health care, we're off to a running start. And billions of dollars additional for investments in basic biomedical research. Research with the power to cure